been in the industry for many, many years, and he's actually been dedicating and sort of spending his time on developing, on making new standards in the circular denim and convincing other people to do it as well. So I'm going to let Simon Beach House take over. Welcome.
Thank you, Mohsin. Does it sound good? Yeah. I haven't washed my jeans, by the way, so but it's all part of an experiment. A lot of bacteria here. Yes, this is where it all begins for you guys here. London. This is a beautiful image made by Ian Berry. Thank you. Just the front one here.
No, this one.
This one. Yeah. Ian Berry's just across the river here. He has a studio in Olah. Shows you what a beautiful thing denim is, all the things we can do with it. So if you've got any old jeans, just drop them off at his office and he'll make something beautiful out of it. Yes, it is one of the few pieces of clothing that everybody wears. Everybody has an affinity to it. And it's something that simply evokes the rebel in us. And we need this rebel now. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Mohsin and Andrew, for inviting me. I believe that education is a very important part of moving forward, that our grand challenge begins in the universities, the collaboration with the people who are learning here, working here, the citizens of the future, our leaders of the future. Yeah. And I'd like to also thank my colleagues here for stepping forward today, taking their time out to show their expertise, what they're working on, and how they're moving forward. I'm going to ask you a few questions now. I would like you guys to just shout out one or two. Yeah? We just have a quick practice. Everyone just shout one really loud. One. I didn't hear that. One. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of slides, one or two. What world would you like to live in? One or two? One. Very convincing. One or two? One or two? One or two? You want to get sunburned, yeah? I think I heard one first, yeah? Yeah, so we want everything, yeah? I just don't want to inundate you with a lot of horror stories and statistics. I think we can all agree that we're in a situation here where we need to act quickly. We're in a hole, and we need to stop digging. Just one small point I would like to make. Yeah? The revelation that since the UN first had the framework for climate change in 1992, that since then we have actually done more damage to the environment and our planet knowingly than we have done in the whole millennia in our so-called ignorance. Yeah. Does it? No, sorry, it didn't work. Can you press it, please? Sound? Can we get some sound? It's a shame because it's quite important. No. Can you get it working, please? Yeah. Okay, just hold it until I'll give you a signal when I want it again. I'll just take a step forward, yeah? So in the last 8 years, And I've been in the business now for 30 years, working primarily in the sales and distribution. So it's only like the last 4 years I've been looking at how to make a pair of jeans. And I've seen some good things. I've seen some pretty obvious greenwashing. I've seen some more subtle greenwashing. And I've seen a lot of...
It doesn't matter about the cause necessarily.
Hold it, yeah. Hold it.
This is your path, and you will pursue.
Just rewind. I'll call for it again in a minute, yeah? So yeah, I've seen some good things, some bad things. I've seen some pretty blatant deceit and downright lies. This was my main motivation in 2015 to take myself on a journey to see if I could find the right people to make what I think would be an uncompromising product. One that is healthy for humans, healthy for the planet, healthy for living systems, and regenerative, restorative in its nature, and basically looking for a new practice, not just the best practice, not just that little bit better than the competition, something that actually brings in new technology at the right level, new innovations. I think we can now try that again.
It's about being a warrior. It doesn't matter about the cause necessarily. This is your path, and you will pursue it with excellence. You face your fear because your goal demands it. That is the goddamn warrior spirit.
Alex Honnold, many of you may have seen the film. It's one of the most inspirational athletes, and actually a very inspirational documentary as well. He manages to convince us all in the film and make something that for us is, we can't get our minds around it. It's insurmountable. He manages it with his focus, his clarity, and his discipline to make it sound like a very rational feat. And if I could find a parallel, my journey the last 4 years, it would be what he did here, trying to climb this mountain with just his hand and feet, a 914 vertical cliff where you make one mistake, it's gone. Jimmy Chin, who was the co-producer and the photographer of the film, he was talking in an interview and it described that what he's actually done, what he's achieved is that for the climbing community, especially the youth looking to go into the sport, there's always something that pushes the boundaries, but he's not just pushed the next boundary. He's jumped generations. He's pushed the next boundary. And the parallel for me here is this is what we need to achieve today. I'm not interested in going into transitional ways of finding how to make a jean. There are enough companies and brands who are working with cotton, organic cotton. I want to find the way to jump the next generation and make something that is compatible for your future. I think the global fashion agenda have summed it up also very nicely with the 4 transformational priorities for fundamental change involve replacing conventional fibers with better for the planet ones, accelerating a circular fashion system, promoting better wage systems, and embracing the 4th industrial revolution. That's what I'm working on right now. If you ask me where am I, like Alex Honnold, I've tried hitting the wall a couple of times. I had to come back, start again. And I'm basically at the moment, I'm still at the bottom of the mountain. I've got colleagues, I've got collaborators, I've got experts, and we're just about to hit the first phase. So I've been invited here as well to talk about the challenges that I've met in the last 4 years. Firstly, finding solutions in a very complex and changing supply chain that basically, is in a field where how do you understand what's greenwashing, what's not greenwashing, what is just an effort to boost your eco-credentials or have a wow effect, and what is an honest effort to create change. In the first few years, there was very little response with the oncoming climate change, the accelerating messages and pictures we've been receiving. There was very little response in industry. I remember when I first started, I sat down with Michael Braungart, the German chemist. I met him in September 2015 and had a conversation. Said, hey, is there any sense in trying to develop a cradle-to-cradle denim concept? Yep, today, that sounds like a stupid question. Cradle-to-cradle is now well known, but back then, going around the Fabric Fest, nobody understood what I was talking about. They hadn't even heard of the terminology cradle-to-cradle. Now, everybody's making cradle-to-cradle qualities. The inertia as well of an archaic supply chain, one that is, uses processes that are 100 years old. Even historically, that is something that has made the denim product actually quite endearing. We believed we made denim in a beautiful way for many years. And slowly the awareness is there that we have to actually change things. The machines, the processes are all tied to a production line, so bringing in new technologies, new developments means disruption, changes in the line. That's not the easiest thing to do for a lot of these factories that are producing millions of meters. And what also happens is there's a jostling with new technologies that are branded very early in their development stage before they're really ripe for development and scaling. It's a jostling to get the attention of the consumers and the media, who are all very hungry for new stories. And this confuses the situation also. And for so long, consumers have been disconnected from where everything comes from. Where are my jeans made? Who's made them? In the meantime, we have campaigns made by, for example, we're learning more. And in particular, the brands have been educating consumers, indoctrinating consumers as well, marketing, to behave like they behave. The consumers have only the choice that's there on the market. I remember talking to suppliers from every part of the supply chain, that the consumers don't want to pay more. That was their answer. We don't need to. No one's going to buy it. I think that is something we can't push to the consumer. The industry needs to take responsibility, needs to challenge the status quo, and to give consumers the choice that they need. Only when there is the majority of the offer are very sustainable, ethical solutions. Only then, and the consumer doesn't take it up, can we start calling the consumer out. So this disconnection, which has also come through the slow-paced, not really heard, a lot of happenings in the background from the production side of things, whereas on the retail and the consumer front, it's a very fast-paced lifestyle, very prominent, very loud, bang, 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 everyday messages coming the whole time. I think we can bridge this disconnection with meaning, with value, and that through education, through innovation, transparency, and what we've also heard today quite often, collaboration. And, sorry, where is he gone? I'll say this is what we've been talking about. There's a book called The End of Ice from Dar Jamal. Some may have read it. I can only recommend reading this. Bearing witness and finding meaning in the path of climate disruption. I think he actually epitomizes this disconnect on a global scale. Modern life has compressed time and space. You can traverse the globe in a matter of hours or gain information in nanoseconds. The price for this, along with everything we want on demand all the time, is a total disconnection from the planet that sustains our lives. And if you take that down into a micro scale to how we work in the industry, that's where we have this disconnection. So as I say, I think industry needs to lead. Yeah? The consumers are overwhelmed. Advertising campaigns, comparisons, which gene is better, which gene is cheaper, which gene, why is it cheaper, or why is it more expensive? Marketing campaigns, trends, certifications. As I said, they only have the choice that's there. Only when we give them a choice that offers value and not just based on a price axis, that we can really then hope that they take this up. Competition, exclusivity, profitability. One of the biggest banes in talking to suppliers. I found some very exciting things, and no, you can't have it, Simon. Brand X has taken it. Yeah, you can have it in 2022. The industry is not really proving that competition and exclusivity need not be mutually exclusive. If we collaborate constantly, we can develop things that are right and good for our biodiversity, for our planets. And then, when we have that, we can go out and have a fair competition to get the attention of the consumers. So we have this jostling again, trying to get these innovations on the market very quickly. That leads to many new labels, small brands in particular, picking up just on one pillar of sustainability, maybe two. Yeah? They take an organic quality and give it an eco-friendly wash, whatever that means. There's no transparency. Nobody knows what it means. Are there chemicals in there? Are there not? Organic, as we heard before, it's a discussion I don't want to get into. Exclusivity is just slowing down the pace that we need to reach and scale solutions that are needed. We need to have circular systems with regenerative, restorative concepts that just aid, are beneficial in many ways, that we have cascading effects, not just that we can wear a pair of pants, but that in everything that's connected to this, there are benefits for the environment that are positive, that are building, and not just reducing. So, as I say, this leads to many one-sided approaches where basically nothing changes. We have ideas of sustainability or picking up a new technology and copy and pasting the technology on a concept that I think I can sell. So we're staying with eco-efficiency. We're still working in a straight line. We're not effectively changing anything. We are, if anything, pushing solutions that are apparently sustainable, but are often, sometimes, worse than conventional products who aren't even looking at sustainability. So what I'm trying to do is find a systemic and integrative approach where we have healthy materials which are free of toxic elements and chemicals, regenerative and restorative fibers that are working within a circular system with benefits cascading on all sides, and not to forget social compliance, fair trade, something that has to become self-evident. That when you buy a pair of jeans, you know the people who made it have been paid a fair wage, been paid a living wage. There's no question behind that. I think the fair price I'll come to, I'd just like to reiterate this idea with the cradle-to-cradle process, this eco-efficiency, eco-effectivity, that we're actually talking, if we're talking about a truly circular concept, there are a lot of closed-looped ideas on the market, all very confusing. They're probably going round, but they're still going in a straight line because they're not creating any additional value. Often, they're actually devaluing because a lot of things you recycle them 1 or 2 times, the quality is no good to use anymore. You have to bring in virgin qualities again, virgin plastic, virgin cotton, to make it stronger. What we need to look for is not just this eco-efficiency of reducing our energy use, our water consumption. We need to look at it from the other side and say, we want to optimize. And then we optimize the impacts. If we look for a positive effect, we automatically reduce. We don't focus on reducing. The reducing is, so to speak, a benefit. And we actually have, in the end, a spiral. So we're not talking about circularity, we're talking about spirality. If you read the books from Michel Braungart, you will also hear him talk about this. And that eventually we can actually make products that we can enjoy. We don't have to think, oh, can I buy just 2 jeans this year or 3 jeans? Yeah, you can buy 8 jeans, continue. If we're making products in the right way that are healthy, do not cause any harm for biodiversity, are really regenerative in their nature, restorative in their nature, then we can have a party and make as much as we like. So back to price, yeah. It's not always the most important factor for a lot of people. It plays an exclusive role. But for the majority of the consumers, it is the one most important thing where they base their axis. It will be a price range, and that will limit their choice of what they buy. So if we want to change on a scale that we actually have an impact in the world, if we all collaborate together and we all make similar materials that we can pool, that would be one way, but that doesn't look very likely at the moment. So if we go out and we have affordable prices with accessible innovation, and then through education and transparency, we teach and let people understand what these products are and what the potential is with them, then I think we're on the right road. So we need affordable pricing. Many brands come with an idea. I've seen brands that are taking up hemp, something I'm also working on. And there's a big campaign, the media write lots of reports. You go look on their website, they've got a whole lot of products, and there's 2 jeans. That's it. And they cost $200. Yeah? What is that going to change? Yeah? I don't want to, I applaud everybody who's trying to make a change, and make a step forward and push the boundaries. We have to learn. We have to make mistakes to see how we can do it better. I think 20 minutes is a bit of a short time to really go into detail. I was just hoping to give you an overview of 4 years of my life, trying to find my way to make a product that I believe is uncompromising. Yeah. Uncompromising and looking to make this generation jump. Just a couple more things. The self-evidence, if you're paying too much for a luxury item, you're getting screwed. But if you're not paying enough, you're screwing the people all along the supply chain. Don't forget that. And what I'm basically saying as well is, that we need to front up, not hide behind the problems, but front up with solutions. And at the end of the day, my thinking is, as Bookmeister Fuller, I spelled it wrong, I'm sorry, Mr. Fuller. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And on a happy note, a little quote from Doris DuPont, fashion designer and director of the New Zealand Fashion Museum. We have enough landfill and too little of what fills our hearts. So thank you to Anna as well for letting me use her artwork, and to Ian Berry. And yeah, that's my contact.
Thank you so much for your time and your expertise. I think we've got only time for one question, so please, if anyone's got a question, that would be quite relevant. Oh, okay, right at the back. Was it you? Yeah.
Hi, I just want to ask, what's your opinion on all of the initial or small individual brands in China? Because we are just at the really initial stage of all of the country or all of the world, and what kind of thing we should prioritize, if we want to build a long-term path in the future, in the fashion industry. Thank you.
Can you just repeat the end of that? So I didn't quite, what the actual question is for.
Sorry.
Are you talking about production side or brands?
Yeah, we got so many individual brands just born in China, the mainland market, and we are at the really initial stage of the fashion industry or the menswear industry, all of the denim brands or all of them. So what kind of thing we should prioritize at this stage if we want to build a long-term plan for the future 10 years or something for these kind of very initial brands?
If you could keep it short, it would be great.
It was a long question. A long question, a short answer. Come to me. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to get at. Are you talking about China coming to Europe with these brands? Or within... I mean, all I can say really, as far as I've understood your question, is that these small brands need to look at what I've been saying here, an integrated approach. So not just looking at just these one pillar, two pillar of sustainability, but to really get a product that can make this generation jump and bring an impact. You need to collaborate, so these brands could collaborate together. When I eventually have my first fabric, I'm not looking for exclusivity. I would love it if the big brands used it too. I don't want to have to fight on stories. I think for the Chinese labels, start at home as well. For the Chinese market, that's the most important market you have. And possibly through that, I think even as Andrew Olah, a lot of eyes are on China. And if you have Chinese brands in China that develop their concepts there and market them there first, then they will become perhaps more interesting than if you try to export them and make them, European, to fit the European market. Is that? I mean, we can speak again later that I can perhaps understand it better. But this is my email address, so please, if anyone has any other questions, just write to me.
I think you're going to get a lot of students emailing you for sure. So, yeah.
If there's a genius here, write to me, please. We can collaborate.
Nice. Anyway, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you as well.
Thank you again. And,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Very, very insightful.